hour about you and about your body and just taking care of you. So I'm gonna stop talking now, and whenever you're ready, join me on your mat in a nice, comfortable seated position. You can choose to do half lotus, full lotus, easy seated, or there's a lot of people that I know that like to do Dandasana with their legs out in the front. So whichever is most comfortable for you, finding that place, finding that ease and settling in. Beginning to close the eyes. And I invite you to start to become aware of the breath. Just following your natural rhythm of your breath. Seeing where you are within your breath. No pressure, just with the eyes closed, just inhale and exhale. Becoming aware of the connection of the inhalation to the exhalation. Noticing if you can see where the transition happens from the air entering the body and as the breath leaves the body. Feeling like a cool rhythm as it enters through the nose, goes down back of the throat, fills the belly, the lungs, and gently exhale. Begin to set an intention for yourself this evening, whether it could be a word, a phrase, or if there's something within your heart that you want to bring to the mat, something to release, something to cherish. Giving yourself a few moments to just be within what makes you feel you today. Continuing to inhale, begin to take the breath deeper down into the belly. Really allow yourself to feel the belly expand. And gently, as you exhale, feel the belly as it pulls back towards the spine. Inhale. Fill in the belly. This time, feeling the lungs expand. And then gently exhale, feeling the lungs contract and the belly go back towards the spine. On the next inhalation, as you pull the belly into the breath, become aware of the expansion of the belly, the expansion of the lungs, and then see if you can pull in that last sip of air to feel the rise in the chest. Really lifting the spine, aligning your posture as if you have a thread pulling you up towards the sky. And as you exhale, gently release the chest as you feel it very softly fall back down. You feel the lungs come back and the belly come back towards the spine. So as we move through our 3-part breath, taking a few cycles here, use this time to experiment and see where you notice the deepness and the richness of your breath. Maybe you notice that you are able to pull the breath deeper down into the belly. Or maybe today the belly is not where you're bringing down the breath to. Maybe it's your lungs that are really wide and open. Maybe it's your chest that rises up to the sky. Really tune into this 3-part breath. Allowing the inhales to expand and rise. And the exhales to completely just hips fall back into their normal state. Very slowly returning to your normal rhythm of breath. Noticing where you are now in your natural rhythm of breathing. And moving forward, we're going to incorporate a little breath retention. We're going to do some deep breaths. And the deep breath, it's up to you if you want to pull it all the way down into the belly and still incorporate your Durga breath. However, normally with this, starting out beginner to intermediate, I like to suggest just if you want to take a deep inhalation when we do breath retention, not trying to go through the 3 locks. So when you inhale, go ahead and pull the breath down into the belly for a count of 3 to 5. And then the same amount that you inhale, the count, hold for that. A little bit of breath retention. And then when you're ready to exhale, see if you can follow that same count. And you should feel the body begin to completely relax. I like to use this breathing technique a lot when I'm feeling anxiety at the office and I just need about 10 or 15 minutes to recenter myself and to calm down. This is very helpful. Also, it's very helpful if you're wanting to go a little deeper into a relaxation with your meditation. And if you're starting to feel maybe a little lightheaded or dizzy, you can either exit out of the breath retention and just return to normal deep inhales and exhales, or you can just maybe lower the count. So if 3 was too much, then maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, and then exhale 1, 2. Really checking in with the body. And seeing if you can incorporate your Ujjayi breath now. Ujjayi breath, constricting the back of the throat. So your deep inhalation should make a hissing sound as it comes down the throat into the belly, and then a deep hissing sound as it leaves. Almost the sound of the ocean breath, Victoria's breath. Really allowing yourself to get in touch with your breath. Becoming aware of the sound of the Ujjayi breath is very meditative within itself. A great way to bring focus and awareness to your mat. Focus and awareness to the body. So pulling out of our deep breathing and our breath retention, we're going to continue utilizing our Ujjayi breath if you would like to in your practice. If you would just like to return to your normal breathing, that's fine as well. You should be nice. The shoulders should feel more relaxed. The arms, everything should feel like a step lower than when you first came to your mat. So bringing yourself into an easy seated position, you want to bring the hands to the knees. So if you would like to keep the eyes closed, I suggest it as a warm-up in my practice, especially when I'm connecting my breath to my body through Ujjayi, through deep breath, and when I start to incorporate movement. But at the end of the day, it's you know your body better than I do, so whatever feels great is what is welcome for you this evening. So we're going to do a very brief warm-up with cat-cow variation and an easy seated pose, or if you're in half lotus, full lotus. Bringing our hands to our knees. As we inhale, we're going to bring in the breath, bring in the gaze slightly up towards the sky, making sure to bring the chest, allow it to rise up. And then as you exhale, pushing your hands very softly onto your thighs, helping yourself to cradle as you tilt the pelvis back, rolling the chin down towards the chest and coming into cat. Inhale into cow. And then exhale into cat. Finding the rhythm within this movement as we now link breath awareness with body and with movement. Really allowing yourself to feel the depths of your body within your breath. So you may notice that your exhalations as you go to exhale into cat, that your breath retention is stronger in this pose. Or you may become aware that as you roll forward into cow, that your inhalations become bigger and stronger, and you feel like you can get that last sip of air. Really utilizing the body to help open things up. And when you're ready, I'll meet you back in center. Bringing our hands up towards the sky. Inhale deep. Dropping our shoulders away from our ears. And then as you exhale, go ahead and bring that right hand down to the mat. The left hand is going to come up. And just very gently walking the right fingers out to the side. We're going to do a really gentle lateral stretch. So when I start my practice, I like to be very kind to my body. And because we're still in the warm-up phase, and I just got done working all day. So I want to be kind to my body, especially if I've been sitting at a desk all day. So even though I know that my flexibility, I could probably go deeper as I warm up, I don't have to right yet because I'm just warming up and I'm just getting into the groove. You know what I mean? Inhale back to center, raising the arms up, dropping the shoulders. And then as you exhale, go ahead and bring the hands down by the side. We're going to switch out the legs before we go over onto the left. So whichever leg you had out in front, just go ahead and swap it out now. Inhale, bringing that hands up nice and tall, dropping the shoulders. And then as you exhale, bringing the left hand over to the left side, right hand up. And if you choose to use a block, just switching it over to the left side. If not, then go ahead and bring the forearm as close as you can down to the ground. And the elbow should be in line with the shoulder. Nice lateral stretch. You can choose to look down at the ground, or if it's comfortable for your neck, you can look up towards the sky. You want to keep that nice long line. Inhale, back to center. Arms up, stretch up, pulling through the spine, making sure that your alignment, you're nice and tall. You can feel your neck as it extends, dropping the shoulders. And then as you exhale, open the arms up. And as you open up into cactus arms, feel the chest once more as you inhale, opening up into that cow posture, part of the cat-cow. And then exhale, bringing the arms together. Open up once more. Exhale. Inhale, back to center. Arms up, stretch, stretch, and then back down by the side. Coming with our legs out in front, doing a nice quick windshield wiper. We're going to do a really quick bound ankle pose, butterfly pose, just to kind of help warm the hips up. So while I'm still warming up, I like to use my blocks and I like to use my strap. So bringing our knees up towards our chest, bringing the soles of our feet together, we're going to go ahead and placing them together. And you can take the strap, putting it over the feet, pulling the strap through the legs. So this is going to be like, it's going to help with support. It's also going to help with holding the posture, the pose. It'll also help, I use it a lot when I pull on these straps right here to help adjust my alignment, especially in my posture, because I slouch all day at a desk. So if you utilize the strap, go ahead and pull it through. You can leave the little thingies over the legs, the thighs. Inhale, pull yourself forward, pull the chest forward. And then as you exhale, very gently rolling through the back once more, bringing the chin to the chest. Inhale, open up. Exhale, back into cat. Rolling back up on the tilting of the pelvis. Inhale once more into cow. Exhale, back into cat. Inhale, come to center. Making sure the spine is nice and long. Very gently bringing your hands up above. Feeling yourself, feel the spine elongate. Feeling the body with breath. Taking a nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, bringing the left hand to the right knee, very gently, doing a nice bound angle twist. Staying here for a few breaths. And if this is too much on the spine, all you have to do is just gently rotate a little bit back towards the center. Because like I said, we're still warming up. You don't want to hurt yourself. Inhale, back to center, arms up above. And then exhale, bringing the right hand to the left knee, bringing the left hand behind us, and gently pulling ourselves into a nice twist. Inhale, back to center. Very gently exhaling, bringing our knees back together. And if you had a strap, go ahead and release your strap. Bringing our legs out in front. Doing a nice staff pose. So you want to make sure that your sit bones are completely on the ground. Your legs are out in front, your feet are flexed. And you want to make sure, almost as if you're sitting against a wall, that you feel your back nice and long and like you've got a flat surface against your back. And just closing the eyes. You should become aware in this posture if you notice maybe the right side is a little bit more tight than the left. Or if they both feel good, maybe you notice that the hips are a little bit tight, or maybe they're really nice and flexible. Inhale, bringing our arms up above. And then as you exhale, bringing our hands over on top to touch our toes. So you want to make sure while you're in this posture that you keep a nice flat back. So you want to hinge forward at the hips, grabbing the toes. And if it helps, like you can use blocks by the side. And just closing the eyes. Really allowing yourself to feel your breath within this stretch. Noticing with each inhalation and each exhalation, your body becomes a little bit more flexible and it's ready to open up a little bit more. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and exhale. You can round the back, bringing the forehead towards the legs. So if you're noticing that your hamstrings and your glutes are feeling really tight, I always like to incorporate a block. So I'll bring my block, I'll turn it to where it's elongated side up, or you can even do this. And I just use it as a nice, steady, supportive instrument to help me really hold where I am in this pose. Or I can take it a little bit deeper. Very nice. And whenever you're ready, go ahead, release the pose, coming back up back up to center, sweeping the legs around, coming into a tabletop. So we're not going to stay in table for very long. So if you normally use a blanket and you still want to use the blanket under your knees, it's perfectly fine. But if you don't need it, then you should be good on your mat. So you just want to check in, make sure the knees are aligned under the hips, the hands aligned under the shoulders. Tucking the back toes, we're going to slowly begin to push up into our first downward facing dog. So as we begin to push up, become aware, because we're going to go into what's like to call a hovering downward dog. So where you very gently pushing through the palms of your hands, pushing up, and then allowing the knees to come off of the floor, really engaging in the core, checking in with the breath. And then as you exhale, go ahead and rise up, and then coming back in your first downward facing dog. So if you deal with vertigo or untreated high blood pressure and this pose will make you dizzy, you can stay in table perfectly fine. You can even come down on your forearms and do a nice forearm variation of kneeling downward facing dog. So we want to make our practice accessible for not just for us, but also for our family, the ones we love. Checking in with our breath, really allowing ourselves to feel where we are, see where the heels are. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and inhale, bring the right leg up between the hands. Taking a moment to check in with the alignment, making sure the knee is over top the ankle. And then as you exhale, after one breath round, bring that left leg up. And we're going to inhale, come halfway. And then very slowly exhale, falling forward. So in our forward fold, taking our hands, wrapping them, and then doing a nice little ragdoll variation. Releasing the spine. Any compression in the spine, excuse me. And then very gently bringing the hands back down to the earth. We're going to inhale, rise up. Bringing our hands up above into an upward salute. Really stretching through. And then exhale, dropping the hands down by the side into mountain pose, Tadasana. Checking in with our feet. Becoming aware that they are aligned under the hips. Very slowly begin to close the eyes. Go ahead and take the neck, roll it over the head, roll over to where you're doing a nice stretch on the right side of the neck. So it's almost as if the left ear is coming down to the shoulder, but you don't want to force it. Let gravity and Mother Nature do what she does best. And then bring the right arm out to the side. And then you'll notice like a few fingertips. If you want to touch the ear, place the hand gently, but you don't want to push or do any pressure on the neck. And relax, inhale back to center. And then exhale, let's go ahead and take it to the opposite side. Gently bring in the right ear down to the right shoulder. Left hand out to the side. Exhale, release. Hands up, coming up into a nice upward salute. We're going to exhale, fall forward, coming into our nice forward fold once more. Inhale halfway. And then as you exhale, bringing our hands down towards the mat, we're going to very slowly, pushing through the palms of our hands, begin to walk your feet back. So we're going to go back, we're going to walk backwards down into our downward facing dog. And then begin to push through the hands. Once more, feeling where you are. Very good. Inhale, go ahead and bring that left foot between the front hands, making sure that our knee is nicely aligned over the ankle. Taking a quick second to gaze forward. Inhale, nice and deep. And then as you exhale, bring that right foot up to the left foot. Go ahead and come down into a nice forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale very gently. Go ahead and bring the hands up, reverse swan dive. Bringing the hands up into an upward salute. And maybe this time you play with a baby back bend, or you can just come up into upward salute. And then gently, wherever you are, making sure the feet are aligned under the hips. We're going to very gently go into a nice chair pose. So go ahead and begin to start sitting down, checking in as you're sitting down in your chair, making sure that you can see your little toesies. You want to tuck the tailbone so you don't put too much arch in the back. And just find where you are in your chair. So when you start practicing after a long day, when you come to the mat, you may notice that your chair pose is a little stiff. Mine usually is, and then as I move through my stretching and my practice, it gets deeper. And just allow yourself to feel. Become aware of the sensations in the toes, the bottoms of the feet. Making sure that you're not having any pain in the knees. We want to get to that edge where you feel the growth, but you also feel the joy of yoga. Bringing our chest up towards the sky, and then exhale. Bringing our hands back down into Tadasana pose. So bringing our strap back into the practice. Coming on your mat up towards the front of the mat and taking this nice strap. And you want to hold it shoulder width apart. So if your strap is nice and long like mine, you may want to do it half it. And then bring the arms out in front, noticing that they're parallel to the shoulders. So as you inhale, go ahead and gently rise the head, gaze up towards, but don't crick the neck, just gaze up. And then exhale, go ahead and bring the chin down towards the chest. So as you bring the chin down towards the chest, you may notice that you want to roll just a little tad bit to loosen up any tightness you may feel in the upper part of the shoulders. Make sure to hold the arms nice and straight. Maybe you just keep the chin tucked. You can take it to the right side with the ear to the right shoulder, or the left side. Holding the arms nice and steady, keeping them aligned. And then as you exhale, bring that left foot back, setting up for warrior one, making sure that our knee is aligned above our ankle, keeping our arms out in front, making sure our hips are nice and square. And then go ahead and take a deep inhale, and then exhale. Bring the arms up above. Making sure the arms are nice and long. So you should feel a little bit of the resistance from holding the strap to keep your arms in alignment. Exhale. back to center, holding the arms out in front. Bringing our chin towards our chest. Inhale, rise up. Maybe you're able to open up a little bit more. Bring in our chest, doing a nice little heart opener towards the sky. And then as you exhale, bringing the hands back to center, making sure they're nice and horizontal, aligned with the shoulders. Inhale, back up. And then as you exhale, straighten that right leg. Turn the hips towards the front, setting up for what you could call intense stretch or pyramid stretch. We're going to bring our hands down by the side. We're going to grab the strap behind our back, and we're going to use it to help open the shoulders. So you want to see how I have the strap down? You want to do it so you can help really pull on this and open the shoulders. So you want to rotate the shoulders out. So in our nice intense stretch, we're going to open the shoulders. Feel our body get nice and long. Really stretch, nice. And then as you exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Finding where you are within this pose. So if you're feeling any pressure on the knee, feel free to bend the knee a tad bit. And then as you exhale, very gently, see if you can begin to bring the arms up a little. So now that you have the arms bound, what you want to do is you got them nice and rotated out. Now you want to take the hands and clasp them behind the back. So if this is too much strain on the shoulders, I always like to grab my elbows. So now that we've opened up our rotator cuff a little bit more, so as you inhale, opening the chest, and then slowly we're going to hinge forward, hinging forward at the hips. So you can come to flat back halfway, or if you would like to go a little bit deeper into intense stretch, you can hinge forward at the hips. So you want to make sure you keep a nice flat back. So if you feel the back rounding, you want to gently come up because you don't want to hurt the back. Staying here, enjoying the breath. And then inhale back to center. Whew. Turning that right leg forward, the left leg out, coming into a nice forward fold. Go ahead and release those arms. Give them a nice shrug up towards the ears. Inhale, bring the arms up. And then as you exhale, drop them at the horizon line. And we're going to do a nice, really quick deltoid stretch. So as you exhale, you want to bring the right arm over towards the left, bringing the left hand over here to touch this nice little area. Yay! Making sure the shoulders drop from the ear. And just breathe. And when you're ready, release it, bringing that arm back to the right. Hand out, nice horizon line. And then as you exhale, bring the left hand towards the right, the left arm towards the right, using that right hand. And I always think of it as like a glove wiping a surface. Just gliding along your forearm and everything and feeling, not your forearm, I'm sorry. Woo, Tuesday. Gliding along your arm and just feeling where you are in the stretch. If you're feeling any pains in the knees, go ahead and put some bend in the knees. And then gently exhale, releasing the arms, rolling the shoulders up, rolling them back. Go ahead and grab the strap once more. So if you're not using the strap, you can also, as we do the other side, you can just keep the arms out in front. And then you can do the arm lifts just like that. So if you want to try it without the strap, I just like to use the strap because it has that resistance, and I'm pulling, and it's also helping open up the back part of my shoulder blade. So we're going to take, we're going to move now into our warrior one on the left side. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and we're going to step that right foot back, bringing our left foot out in front, making sure that the knee is aligned over the hip, over the ankle. And you may notice that one side is a little bit more stiff than the other. So when I have to align my hips and square them off, I straighten the front leg, take a breath, pull my alignment up, my posture up, and then as I exhale. So this should feel really good. And you want to make sure that the knee doesn't cave in, that it goes nice and out towards the sky. Yeah. So if you're joining with your strap, inhale. And you may notice too that you're able to go maybe a little bit deeper on the side in your warrior one. Inhale, bringing it up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, bringing the chin gently towards the chest. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, chin towards the chest, or you can keep it straight. Inhale, back to center, and then exhale. So as we move into setting up on our pyramid side on the left side, so now I'm going to add a little mix. We're going to do a cow pose standing variation, but we're going to incorporate it into your pyramid pose. So this is why we've been doing a lot of stretching and opening things up, is to prepare you for this. So go ahead and straighten the front leg, finding where you are, comfortable position. So you want to make sure, because this side we're going to hold, but as you get into the pose, you want to make sure that you're nice and comfortable. So getting into our nice pyramid pose, our hips are straight. So I'm going to turn around backwards just so I can show you what I'm doing with my strap. So we're going to start with the right hand back first. So I'm going to drape this over my left side of my shoulder. And as I'm in my pyramid pose, I'm going to grab the right part of my strap. I'm going to inhale my left arm up. I'm going to grab the strap here. And then I'm going to help use the strap to help pull my hands closer together. So if you're feeling any tension in the shoulder, I always like to release. And then what you want to do is kind of loosen and then just allow the shoulder. So you're rotating out, so you want to feel that expansion. And then you should notice it should get a little bit easier. So after a long day, I always use a strap. So in our pyramid pose on the left side, now in this cow face pose variation, if you're having any shoulder pain or any discomfort, you can go ahead and release the pose and do the bound behind the back like we did earlier. So if you're going to join me in this pose, go ahead and wherever you are in your practice, if you are joining your hands or you're using the strap, so you want to make sure that your spine is nice and tall, and you're in a nice, comfy pyramid pose. And as you exhale, you want to hinge forward just a tad bit. So this should feel a little uncomfortable as you're getting used to it, but it should also feel good, because what you're doing is you're opening up the shoulders, you're helping to open up the chest. It should feel really good on your pectorals. And if you'd like to add a little bit of variation, get a little funky, you can also bend the left knee and hinge forward a little bit. But as I said, it's within your practice. So inhale back to center. We're going to very gently, if you have the strap, bring the arm up, release the hand. Release that back arm. Go ahead and shrug the shoulders. Doing a nice up and down. So we're going to go ahead and take we need to do the opposite side as well, so that way we can even out the body. So you can either do it in standing pose. I always like to give people that freedom. So when you do the other side, you can do it in standing pose. You can come back into a chair pose. I like to do from pyramid and an intense stretch. I always like to go into my chair pose. That's why I love chairs. So wherever you are, so if you want to start in Tadasana is where I do, especially if I'm going into my chair. So this time, you're going to bring the strap, come over your right. So you want to bring the left arm, bring it out to the side. Loosen up that shoulder, loosen up. You should feel it right around the rotator cuff and the joint. I always like to do circles. And then exhale, go ahead and bring it back to grab the strap. And then as you inhale, go ahead and we're going to incorporate the left arm. So we're going to bring it to where the fingers come right on the top of the back and walking it down. And I always love to use my head to kind of push my arm back and to open my chest up a little bit more, and also to keep my posture straight, because you don't want to like concave forward. And then using your strap to pull you into the posture. So this isn't a pose that you want to force. It's just something that you'll notice over time just gradually happens. And also you'll notice over time that there's days when it's just the body says no, but that's okay. That's the beautiful thing about yoga. So as you inhale, open up your chest. If you're going to stay in Tadasana, go ahead and tuck the tail and just kind of gaze up. If you're going to take your chair, go ahead and make sure you feel the feet aligned under the hips, and then very slowly. So this is a little bit of the tricky part. So in this pose, you'll notice that your body wants to go forward, but in chair, you want to keep the chest upright. So without putting any strain on the lower back. So you want to keep that tailbone tucked. And then just becoming aware of where you are in your breath. Maybe close the eyes. And if that feels good and you want to stretch a little bit forward, then you can widen your chair pose and then come into a nice half flat back cow face variation. And it looks just like this. It's a kind of a bear pose variation. Almost as if you're taking a squat with cow face. Wherever you are, very gently rise back up if you are in chair, bear variation. And then very slowly release the arms. Go ahead and roll the shoulders forward and the shoulders back. Inhale, bring the hands up. And then as you exhale, let the left arm fall towards the right, and just very gently use this hand to grab the back of the arm, and just very slowly, we're going to do a nice side lateral stretch. Inhale back to center, bringing our hands back together. And then exhale, go ahead and bring that right arm towards the left. And then as you exhale, inhale back to center. Exhale into cactus arms. Opening our chest up, making sure our tailbone is tucked. And then as you exhale, go ahead and bend into a half back. Go ahead and bring the arms behind. We're going to lace the fingertips to where our index fingers are pointing out, almost if you're doing the steeple mudra, but kind of in reverse. So what you want to do is bring the hands together, and you want to keep your neck nice and long. So we're now stretching out the shoulders, holding flat back. And as you exhale, gently release. Bring in the waist and the torso down towards where you feel it touching the thighs. And then as you exhale, just allow your arms to fall, to kind of guide up. I always say fall up because it feels like they're falling up to me. But you want to go to a comfortable position. So if you're feeling like this is any stress, just go ahead and release where you are. And then very slowly, exhale, bringing the hands towards the earth. Wrapping them once more, straightening the legs. And doing a nice forward fold. Ragdoll variation. Very gently, using the hands, walking back out. Walking the feet back towards the opposite end of the mat. Coming back into our downward facing dog. So we're gonna start to slow down from where we began. So we're gonna go down into hovering downward facing dog. So instead of before we were going up, now you're gonna just rock forward as you come back down. You're gonna notice that your hands start to fall under the shoulders, so you wanna rock forward so you have that stability. And just allow the knees to hover over the earth. Go ahead and push through, roll back, coming back into downward facing dog. Roll forward, exhale, dropping the knees, hovering. Exhale. Beautiful. One more. Inhale, rolling forward, dropping the knees, hovering just a little bit. And then exhale back into downward facing dog, pedaling out the feet. And then very slowly, as you stretch it out, go ahead and bring it down to Mother Earth. Bringing our toes together, our knees go to either side of the mat, rolling back into your wide-legged child's pose. And just take a moment to relax, checking in with your breath, breathing nice and deep. Whenever you're ready, coming back up. So we're gonna roll into, so you're here in table. So we're gonna very slowly roll forward, making sure that our shoulders stay above our wrist. And see if you can gently, very gently begin to drop the lower torso, almost as if you're coming into a cobra. But as you're coming into cobra, it's almost like you're doing it reverse. You're allowing the elbows to glide down by your rib cage, bringing the torso to the ground, stretching out, don't hit the couch. Inhale, bringing the arms underneath, setting up into our Sphinx. And very gently do a nice little pelvis rock from side to side. Taking a moment. And then very slowly, exhale, coming down into our crocodile pose. So bring the hands underneath the chin. And just relax. Take a few breaths. And as you transition into a nice shoulder stretch, you want to make sure that the arms are out nice and long like airplane. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll on to the shoulder, but you want to do it in a comfortable way. So if you have any shoulder problems or any neck problems, you can just stay here if you would like and just relax. If you want to join me, so what you want to do is I'm going to do it on my left side first so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I have my left arm out. I'm going to use my right hand for support. And I very slowly, using my hands to walk me out,
begin to bring my body onto the side. So you'll feel yourself stretching through the arms and the shoulders. And you want to use that arm for support. So I'm going to roll over gently on my right really quick so you can see what it looks like in the front. So this should feel really good. You shouldn't have any pain. So rolling on to the right side. Very nice. Exhale, go ahead and bring your hand back to center, using it for support. Very slowly. Roll you over, bringing that left arm out. Using the right hand, and go ahead and roll over onto the left side. Excuse me. Very good. Very slowly exhale, releasing yourself back on your belly. And then using the forearm of the right arm, go ahead and prop yourself up. Using the left hand, you're going to come over onto the right side of the body. So we're just going to do like a really nice stretch through the waist, and you should feel it also through your shoulder and your neck. You can bring your arm out if this is more of your practice and you do it a lot more, you can stretch the arm completely out. However, I just like to prop my hand up to the side, and you're going to use the left as support. And you want to make sure not to fall through the shoulder, so you want to push through the palm of the hand. You can flex the feet, or you can point them out like a ballerina. And then exhale, go ahead and come down onto the forearm. Bring the left forearm down to the ground. So you're going to roll into Sphinx, and you're going to do it on the opposite side. Pushing up onto the left side, using the right hand. So I will switch sides. This is where it gets fun. Using the right hand, and then using that support, finding where you are in this. It's like a really nice side stretch. Very good. There it goes. Just breathe. Very slowly exhale, release. Rolling back onto the belly. Coming back onto both forearms as you are in Sphinx. Exhale, rolling down onto the belly. We're going to very slowly pull the left hand underneath, the right arm over the left, and do a nice little crisscross stretch here while we lay on our belly in a crocodile variation. So if you do have any shoulder pain, go ahead and lessen the crisscross. So it should almost be like a nice little forearm balance stretch. And then we're the opposite side. And then very slowly bringing our hands out to front. Inhale very gently, looking up towards the sky. And then exhale, bringing our forehead towards the mat. Go ahead and push and roll over onto the back. Bringing our legs up towards our chest, giving a nice rock. And using this last few moments before taking Shavasana to experiment with any pose that we haven't done throughout the practice, or maybe there's something you would like to add before we close, or you can go ahead and roll into your Shavasana. ready, go ahead and release the legs down to the earth. Feeling the back completely supported by Mother Earth. And just completely melt into your well-deserved Shavasana. Turning back to your breath awareness as you start to relax and enjoy the Shavasana. Become aware of the inhalations and the exhalations within your natural rhythm of breathing. Notice if they are a little bit deeper, maybe your lungs feel a little bit more open, the head feels lighter. Taking a moment to show love and gratitude to your physical body, to yourself for showing up on your mat. Showing gratitude for being a part of the community and a part of life every day. Showing gratitude to yourself for being able to forgive and understand. Being able to know compassion, empathy, patience. Feeling each part of those words as they ring within the ear and in the body. Feeling them as they flow through the body. Tingling out through the fingers and the tips of the toes. Feel the beauty of the life force that is you. As you begin to gently wiggle the toes, move the fingers. Maybe you gently rock the head a little bit from side to side. Very softly, waking back up the neck. Waking back up the shoulders, the arms. Maybe you begin to tilt the pelvis forward and back, rocking forward and back just very slightly. Feeling the hips as they awaken. Maybe you begin to move the feet back and forth. Feeling the waving effect as it begins to move the legs. feeling the sensation as it comes up through the hips and the rest of the body. Very slowly, whenever you're ready, go ahead and bring the knees up towards the sky, the feet flat on the earth, and then very slowly roll over into your fetal posture. Taking a moment. Coming back into the physical. Placing our hands on the earth. Very slowly begin to push the body up into a seated posture. Bringing our hands to heart center, or if you have a different mudra that you'd like to express as you close the practice. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice this evening. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for allowing yourself to be here, to be present, to share your love and energy with the community. The light in me honors the light in you. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be at peace. Namaste.